Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Bible study. Today we're in Numbers chapter 10. We're going to try to do it in 5 minutes. Free PDF. You can download this on our website at tobelikechrist.com. The website is growing. Got over 1,000 people on there a day from all around the world. It's really interesting to look at the map. So just wanted to say thank you to everybody who watches these, who shares these. They are getting out across the world, and especially to our patron supporters who support us and help make these resources free so that everyone can get a hold of them. So thank you. Okay, Numbers chapter 10. Who are our main characters? We've got Moses, the leader of the Israelites. We've also got his brother-in-law, who's mentioned here in I think maybe one other chapter in the Bible, named Hobab. And we'll talk about him in our outline. Then we've got the family of the Levites. The families were the Kohathites, the Gershonites, and the Merarites. And remember, they were responsible for caring for the tabernacle and the holy items in the tabernacle. Then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the chiefs of Israel, and all their names are listed there on the PDF. These are the heads, or they were the heads of their fathers' houses, and they acted as representatives for their tribes. As we've mentioned in other chapters, the book of Numbers is not necessarily written in chronological order, so it's important to notice the timestamp in this chapter. The Israelites are going to set out from Mount Sinai. Yes, they are finally going to leave. They're going to do it the 20th day of the second month, about a year after they left Egypt. This would be the year approximately 1490 BC. And finally, on our map, we have somewhere different to talk about. The Israelites are going to move. They're not going to move anywhere particularly exciting or particularly far, but the map has changed slightly. Numbers chapter 10, the Israelites move from the wilderness of Sinai and Mount Sinai, where they've been in Exodus and all of Leviticus and 10 chapters of Numbers, and they're going to move a little bit to the north, to the wilderness of Paran. Now, the wilderness of Paran, exactly where it was located is still debated, but where I have it located there on the map is kind of the generally accepted location. All right, so now for our outline, our first section today is going to be verses 1 through 10, 2 silver trumpets. So God spoke to Moses, and he told him to make 2 silver trumpets for, quote, summoning the congregation and for breaking camp. So if both of these trumpets were blown at the same time, all of the Israelites were supposed to gather at the tabernacle. If only one of the trumpets was blown, only the chiefs of Israel had to come to the tabernacle. When an alarm was blown, and an alarm was evidently a unique sound that could be distinguished from just like the typical trumpet sound. When the alarm was blown, the camp on the east side of the tabernacle was to set out. When the alarm was blown for a second time, the camp on the south was to set out. The priests were the ones who were tasked with blowing the trumpets, Aaron's sons, and in addition to these occasions mentioned above, the trumpets were also to be blown when the Israelites went into battle, when they had days of celebration, when they had feast days, the beginning of every month, and then when burnt offerings and peace offerings were offered. So these trumpets were meant to be a continual reminder to the Israelites of God's presence and of his help. Our final and largest section, this chapter is verses 11 through 36. Israel leaves Sinai and travels to Paran. So on the 20th day of the second month of the second year after Israel left Egypt, the pillar of cloud, you remember that? Pillar of cloud that was supposed to guide the Israelite camp moved from off of the tabernacle, and it went in the direction of the wilderness of Paran. The Israelite camp followed the cloud, setting out camp by camp, just as the Lord had instructed them, that we read about in the previous chapters. You can go back and read about all those instructions if you missed them. The families of the Levites carried the tabernacle, each family carrying the particular part that it was responsible for. Moses also convinced his brother-in-law, who we're told had been traveling with the Israelites up until this point, to continue with them on their journey. He was intending to head back to be with his family, but Moses convinced him to stay because he knew the wilderness very well and he was an asset to Israel. So Israel set out from Sinai in, quote, a 3 days journey. Let's finish off our study of Numbers chapter 10 with an application. In the events of this chapter, I see a great example of putting instructions into action. In the last couple chapters, if you were with us, you'll know that the Israelites received God's instructions for how they were supposed to camp and how they were supposed to travel. Now, in this chapter, we see them immediately implementing those instructions. There was no delay, there were no excuses made, and the Israelites didn't treat God's words like they were just there for them as a mental exercise or something to think about, or something to meditate on. Now let's put this into application in our churches. Imagine what our churches could do if we put God's words into immediate action. How different our churches might look if we studied something and then we immediately put a plan in place to live it out in our lives. Unfortunately, I think a lot of churches and a lot of Christians, myself included at times, have become experts at, quote, having Bible studies, but they lack the follow-through of obedience to do the things that they study. We want to definitely apply the words of James in James chapter 1, verse 22, where James warns Christians, "Be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves." A lot of times we can feel spiritual, we can feel Christian when we get together in our groups and we study together, but are we actually going out and living out what it is that God's commanding us to do? That's what needs to happen.